मीडिया बेस के प्लेटफॉर्म तो खबरों का लेखा जोखा प्रोग्राम के अंतर्गत आप सबका स्वागत है जी जी आयन।
Khabran Da Lekha Jokha June 7, 2024 has been sponsored by Hanif Litigation. Any criminal or regulatory law matters, contact Hanif Litigation lawyer Shahid Hanif 604-626-3144. RCMP locate object that smashed through windshield, injuring driver on Highway 1 in Burnaby. The RCMP say it has located the object that critically injured a driver along Highway 1 in Burnaby Thursday after it smashed through the vehicle's windshield. The object is said to have smashed through the driver's windshield while the vehicle was in the westbound lanes between the Willingdon and Grandview exit. BC Highway Patrol Corporal Melissa Jongema said that officers believe we did locate the object, it will not be able to cause harm to more drivers. What that object is, however, is yet to be publicly released. Police were called to the area near the Grandview exit in Burnaby just before 11:30 a.m. Thursday. Jongema said at the time she had information that suggested the object was metal. Images of the vehicle from the scene show a large hole through the front glass as bystanders stood around the white sedan. Police did not provide further information regarding the driver's condition on Friday.
ਹਾਈਵੇ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਤੇਜ਼ ਰਫ਼ਤਾਰ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਗੱਡੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਜਦੋਂ ਵੱਜਦੀ ਹੈ ਉਹਦਾ ਕਿੱਡਾ ਵੱਡਾ ਭਾਰੀ ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ। ਇਹ ਆਸ਼ੇ ਨਾਲ ਬਹੁਤ ਮੂੰਹ ਦੀ ਤਸਵੀਰ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਡਰਾਈਵਰ ਆ ਉਹ ਸਖਤ ਜ਼ਖਮੀ ਹੋਇਆ ਔਰ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਦਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਕਿ ਆਬਜੈਕਟ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਮਿਲ ਗਿਆ ਵੀ ਕੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਸੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਵੱਜੀ ਹੈ पर सतर्क रहने की जरूरत फिर भी पैंदी है।
बिल्कुल, अभी तक उन्होंने बताया नहीं है, खुलासा नहीं किया, लेकिन कहते हैं कि it could be a metal. Ibrahim Ali murder sentencing hearing at BC Supreme Court. A sentencing hearing is scheduled to begin in Vancouver for Ibrahim Ali, who was convicted in December of the first-degree murder of a 13-year-old girl from Burnaby. Crown lawyer Isabel Keeley said the judge on Thursday that the court can expect to hear victims' impact statements from at least 7 people, including the girl's father, brother, and school and family friends. Ali, who told the judge at a pre-sentencing hearing Thursday that he didn't kill the girl, will also be given a chance to speak. The body of the girl, whose name is protected by a publication ban, was found in Burnaby's Central Park in July 2017 and Ali was arrested the next year. A jury took less than 24 hours last December to reach its guilty verdict at the end of an 8-month trial that heard Ali's DNA-matched semen found in the girl's body. Ali faces a mandatory life term with no chance of parole for 25 years, and both he and his lawyer are expected to attend the hearing by video.
ਇਹ ਬੜਾ ਘਿਨਾਉਣਾ ਕਤਲ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੈਂਟਰਲ ਪਾਰਕ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ 13 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਦੀ ਲੜਕੀ ਦਾ, ਉਸ ਦੇ ਦੋਸ਼ੀ ਜਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਕਿ ਦੋਸ਼ੀ ਕਰਾਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਉਸ ਦੀ ਅੱਜ ਸਜ਼ਾ ਸੁਣਾਈ ਜਾਣੀ ਹੈ, ਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 25 ਵਰਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਬਾਮਸ਼ੱਕਤ ਕੈਦ ਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਪੈਰੋਲ ਨਹੀਂ 25 ਵਰਿਆਂ ਤੱਕ ਇਸ ਦੀ ਉਮੀਦ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਨਾਲ ਦੀ ਨਾਲ ਦੋਸ਼ੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਵਕੀਲ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੋਰਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੇਸ਼ ਹੋਏਗਾ।
Google signs deal with organization to distribute $100 million to Canadian new companies. Google announced Tuesday it has selected an organization to distribute the $100 million the tech giant has promised to Canadian news companies. The Canadian Journalism Collective will be responsible for ensuring eligible news organization gets their share of the money. The collective is a federally incorporated non-profit organization that was created for their purpose, that was founded by a group of independent publishers and broadcasters. The steering committee is made up of 12 independent media outlets that represent French language, community and indigenous news, and publications that specifically represent Black and minority Canadians. Some of the organizations include Pivot, The Resolve, Indigi News, Village Media, and the Canadian Association of Community Television Users and Stations. Google agreed to pay Canadian news publishers $100 million annually indexed to inflation in order to be exempt from the Online News Act, which competes tax companies to enter the agreements with new publishers. It's unclear when eligible news businesses will receive the cash, but the payment is contingent on Google formally receiving an exemption from the federal broadcast regulator. Earlier this year, Google put an open call to news organizations that wish to receive compensation under the Online News Act, and about 1,500 outlets applied for the cash. The collective will review all news publishers that responded to the open call and distribute the funds to publishers that meet the criteria. The money will be distributed proportionally based on how many full-time journalists the companies employ. In order for news businesses to be eligible, they must have at least 2 full-time employees and meet other criteria under the Online News Act. Small print and digital outlets can expect to receive about $17,000 per journalist that they employ, an official with the Canadian Heritage Department has said. The Liberal government has previously put a cap on how much money the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation and other broadcasters can get. CBC Radio Canada will get no more than $7 million share of the annual fund, and $30 million at most will be reserved for other broadcasters. The other $63 million will be shared among other qualifying news outlets such as newspapers and digital platforms.
खबर सारा आप सब तक पहुंचाने के लिए अशना गूगल ने $100 मिलियन सालाना देने का वादा कर लिया, पर CBC ਨੂੰ 7 ਹੀ ਮਿਲਣਗੇ ਤੇ ਬਾਕੀ 63 ਮਿਲੀਅਨ ਦੇ ਕਰੀਬ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਬਾਕੀ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਆਊਟਲੈਟਸ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਲਾਨਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਜਾਏਗਾ, ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਿਹਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਪ੍ਰਿੰਟ ਨਿਊਜ਼ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਕਾਫੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਮਦਦ ਮਿਲੇਗੀ।
Bilkul. Federal government approves purchase of key Ottawa property from friend of Prime Minister. The Trudeau government has approved a decision by the National Capital Commission to buy a key piece of real estate in downtown Ottawa that is partially owned by a close friend of the Prime Minister. On May 24th, the Privy Council office published an order in council approving the NCC's plan to purchase the building at the corner of Sparks Street and O'Connor Street, a block from Parliament Hill. The property is currently registered to 148-152 Sparks Street, an Ontario Corporation partly owned by Tom Pitfield, a longtime friend of Justin Trudeau. The Prime Minister's office referred questions about the purchase to a spokesperson for Public Services and Procurement Canada, which said Trudeau was not involved in the cabinet approval of the deal. This order in council was submitted to the governor in council via the Treasury Board process and was approved, said PSPC spokesman Guillaume Bertrand in an email statement. An acquisition of this type requires Treasury Board approval only. It does not involve the approval of the Prime Minister or at a meeting of the full cabinet. In an email, Pitfield confirmed he has ownership position in the company, but said he had not discussed the sale of the property with the Prime Minister or anyone else in the cabinet. With respect to the office, With respect to the office space that you reference, I've had a partial minority stake in its ownership for more than 10 years now and did not have any such conversations about the NCC's decision with the officials that you mentioned, he wrote. Pitfield is listed on mortgage documents on the property along with Ottawa lawyer Gordon Kudney, the company's sole director, according to incorporation records. The company purchased the property in Spark Street in 2014 from Aegis Holdings Limited and Murray McKay Enterprises Limited for $4.8 million. It includes a 3-story office building, retail space, and a ground floor restaurant. Canada 2020, a think tank with ties to the federal Liberals that Pitfield co-founded, has offices in the building. The NCC says the deal has not been finalized and did not say how much it will pay for the property. The property is a prominent location along the Spark Street pedestrian mall and is close proximity to the parliamentary precinct, including the NCC's advance its properties planning, developing and improving the National Capital Region in alignment with its mandate, NCC spokesperson Dominic Horace said in an email. Pitfield is the son of the late Michael Pitfield, who served as the clerk of the PV Council when Trudeau's father was Prime Minister. He is married to Montreal Liberal MP Anna Gainey, a past president of the Liberal Party of Canada. The couple traveled with Trudeau and his family on holidays in Bahamas in 2016. The Ethics Commissioner found Trudeau had breached the federal ethics law on the trip by accepting a helicopter ride to the Aga Khan's private island. Pitfield's relationship with the Prime Minister featured in a 2021 complaint to the Federal Ethics Commissioner by Conservative MP Michael Barrett over contracts with Pitfield's data analytics company Data Science. Barrett noted that many Liberal MPs had used their parliamentary office budgets to pay data scientists for software used to manage contacts with the constituents. The Ethics Commissioner, Mario Dion, later dismissed the complaint, saying he had no reason to believe Trudeau had acted to further Pitfell's private interest. Pitfell was the chief digital strategist for Trudeau's leadership bid in 2013 and did similar work on the Liberals' election campaigns.
ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਆਸ਼ਾ ਨਾਲ ਰਾਜਨੀਤਿਕ ਖੇਤਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਕਿਧਰੇ ਵੀ ਤੰਦ ਕਿਤੇ ਵੀ ਜੁੜਦੀ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਦਾ ਪੂਰਾ ਬਿਊਰਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਹ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਕਿਸ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਰ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਜਸਟਿਨ ਟਰੂਡੋ ਦੇ ਨਜ਼ਦੀਕੀ ਦੋਸਤ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਰਟੀ ਹੈ ਡਾਊਨਟਾਊਨ ਆਟਵਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਦੀ ਖਰੀਦੋ ਫਰੋਖਤ ਦਾ ਸੰਬੰਧ ਦੇਖ ਲਓ ਆਸ਼ਾ ਨਾ ਤੰਦਾਂ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਦੀਆਂ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਤੱਕ ਜੋੜੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਔਰ ਜੁੜੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਔਰ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਇਹ ਡੀਲ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਸਿੱਧਾ ਜਾਂ ਅਸਿੱਧਾ ਸੰਬੰਧ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਇਹ ਦੇਖਣ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ
Local strike deadline looms for Canadian border agents as both sides continue talks. A possible border agent strike is looming as both sides remain at the table hoping to avoid trouble soon. The federal government and the Customs and Immigration Union, which represents 9,000 workers at the Canada Border Services Agency, are continuing their mediated negotiations. Treasury Board President Anita Anand is hopeful a deal can be reached. We will continue to bargain in good faith. The best deals are reached at the table, and we look forward to reaching an agreement in the vein, Anand said. The union says it also wants to avoid strike action but notes the window for an agreement is closing, and if one isn't reached by 4 p.m. Eastern on Friday, the workers will go on strike. We remain hopeful an agreement can be reached, but the clock is ticking, a union spokesperson reiterated in the email statement. NDP MP Brian Massey, whose winter riding has one of the busiest land border crossings, says he understands there may be problems for travelers and the economy, but he's backing the workers.
ਬਾਰਡਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਸਟ੍ਰਾਈਕ ਹੋਣ ਦੇ ਪੂਰੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅਸਾਰ ਨੇ ਦੱਸੇ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਪਰ ਮੰਤਰਾਲਾ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਦਾ ਜ਼ਿਕਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿ ਬਾਰਡਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਕਰਮਚਾਰੀਆਂ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਤਕਰੀਬਨ 90% ਤੋਂ ਉੱਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮੈਂਬਰ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਟ੍ਰਾਈਕ ਦੇ ਹੱਕ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੋਟ ਪਾਈ ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਇਸ ਸਟ੍ਰਾਈਕ ਨੂੰ ਹੁਣ ਤੋਂ ਬਚਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਅਗਰ ਸਟ੍ਰਾਈਕ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਬਾਰਡਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਲਾਈਨ ਅਪ ਦਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਆਸ਼ਾ ਨਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਵੱਧ ਜਾਣਾ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਕਿਤੇ 10 ਮਿੰਟ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਘੰਟਾ ਲੱਗੇਗਾ ਸੋ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਅੱਜ ਉਮੀਦ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਸ਼ਾਮ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਫੈਸਲਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਏਗਾ
One person hurt, vehicle found on fire after shooting in Surrey. The Surrey RCMP says one person was hurt after reports of a shooting Friday morning. Mounties were called to the area of 164th Street and 10th Avenue just after 8:45 a.m. for reports that shots had rung out. They shared one man was being treated by paramedics and that the person responsible for the shooting fled the area in a truck. The RCMP says a vehicle fire on Macmillan Road was reported a short time later. At this time, there is a heavy police presence in these areas as officers are in the early stages of conducting the investigation, Mounties said just before 10 a.m. on Friday. No further details have been provided about the victim or circumstances around the shooting and vehicle fire. More information is expected.
Surrey ਦੇ 164 ਸਟਰੀਟ ਤੇ 10th ਐਵਨਿਊ ਦੇ ਪਾਸ ਗੋਲੀਬਾਰੀ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਖਮੀ ਵਿਅਕਤੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਟਰੱਕ ਨੂੰ ਅੱਗ ਲੱਗਣ ਦੀਆਂ ਸੂਚਨਾਵਾਂ ਪਹੁੰਚੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਆਪ ਸਭ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਵੀਕਐਂਡ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਾਰਗੁਜ਼ਾਰੀ ਹੈ ਸ਼ਨਾ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ चिंतित कर देती है।
इसी के साथ हमें दीजिएगा इजाजत। खबरां दा लेखा जोखा प्रोग्राम से until next time, goodbye।